What if your wealth doesn't begin in your wallet, but in your sleep? What if your next financial breakthrough is born, not from harder work, but from deeper rest? Tonight, we're not talking about dreams. We're programming them. Because while most people go to bed to escape their reality, the rich go to bed to create it. This is your nightly ritual for prosperity. Dream big, wake rich. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Reprogram the night. The mind that sleeps builds the future. Listen carefully, because this chapter is where everything begins. Not tomorrow morning, not next week. Right now, tonight, every single night while your body rests, your mind keeps working. It doesn't sleep. It doesn't pause. It doesn't forget. It's listening, always listening, to what you say, to what you think, to what you believe about yourself when no one's watching. That's the real battlefield, not the marketplace, not your job, not the economy. The real game is happening in your subconscious. And here's the truth most people never hear. Your subconscious doesn't care if what you feed it is true or false. It just believes, it just records, it just executes. That's why some people live their entire lives repeating the same patterns. Failure, doubt, procrastination, because every night before bed, they feed their subconscious junk. They replay every mistake. They relive every fear. They reinforce every insecurity, and then they wonder why nothing changes. Listen, you cannot plant weeds and expect roses. You cannot go to bed with fear and wake up with freedom. You cannot fall asleep rehearsing failure and expect to rise into success. The subconscious mind is a fertile field. It grows whatever you plant, good or bad. That's the key. You have a choice. Every single night, you choose what to feed the soil of your future. So let me ask you, what have you been feeding it? Stress, anxiety, regret? Because if that's what you're falling asleep to, then you're not resting. You're reinforcing your limitations. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can reprogram the night. You can turn your hours of rest into hours of wealth. You don't need more hustle. You need better wiring. You don't need more time. You need better input. Because wealth doesn't start in the wallet. It starts in the whispers before sleep. Now understand this. Every thought you think right before sleep bypasses resistance. Your conscious mind, the critical one that argues, doubts, and overanalyzes, shuts off. That's when the real programming begins. That's when your subconscious takes over. And in that quiet, it believes everything. So imagine what happens when, instead of saying I'm broke, you say I'm building wealth. When, instead of I'm tired, you say I'm recharging for victory. When, instead of nothing's working, you whisper, everything is aligning. Do you feel that shift? That's power. That's direction. That's ownership. You're no longer a victim of your day. You're the architect of your night. You have to train your mind to obey your words. That's the secret of the wealthy. While the world sleeps, they instruct their subconscious. They tell it where to go, what to build, what to expect. They program abundance, confidence, focus, night after night. And because repetition is the language of the subconscious, what's repeated becomes real. Say something often enough, and your mind accepts it as truth. Feel it deeply enough, and your body starts acting like it's already happened. That's not wishful thinking. That's neuroplasticity. That's how your brain rewires itself. You become what you repeat, especially when you're not awake to resist it. Repeat that. Say it until it becomes your philosophy. Because every successful person you admire, every leader, creator, and innovator has mastered one thing. They control their mental input. They go to bed with direction. They wake up with clarity. They program at night and execute by day. So here's what you need to do. Tonight, before you close your eyes, stop scrolling. Stop replaying the day's chaos. Stop arguing with your own potential. Instead, take 3 minutes to rewrite the script. Step 1. Affirm. Speak what you want as if it's already done. I am financially free. I am disciplined. I am attracting the right opportunities. Step 2. Visualize. Picture it clearly. See yourself walking into that office with confidence. See your bank account growing. See your family at peace. Step 3. Feel. Don't just say it. Feel it. Emotion is energy. It supercharges belief. Do this nightly. Not sometimes. Not when you feel motivated. Every single night. Because the subconscious learns through consistency, not intensity, consistency. That's the difference between dreamers and builders. Dreamers want new results with old patterns. Builders build new patterns until new results are inevitable. You can't control the past, but you can command the night ahead. You can decide what story you'll wake up believing tomorrow. And that's the start of everything. This is how ordinary people become unstoppable. They don't try harder, they train smarter. They don't sleep to escape, they sleep to expand. So tonight, before your head hits the pillow, remember this. You are not powerless. You are programming. Every word is instruction. Every thought is data. Every feeling is a command. Feed your mind abundance and watch it produce opportunities. Feed it confidence and watch it manifest results. Feed it gratitude and watch your life multiply. That's the law. That's how you reprogram the night. You don't need luck. You don't need permission. You just need discipline. The discipline to master your last thoughts before sleep, because those thoughts will become your first actions in the morning. Now, take a deep breath. You've just learned the secret most people never discover. Your nights create your days. Your beliefs build your bank account. Your mind, even asleep, is working for you or against you. It's time to take command. You've reprogrammed your night. Now let's talk about what you feed it with. Because every word you speak carries frequency, the vibration that builds your future. Chapter 2. Stop worrying, start wiring. Worry is not harmless. It's not just overthinking, it's programming. Every time you worry, you're writing code into your subconscious, and that code runs your life. Let's call it what it is. Worry is mental rehearsal for failure. It's meditation in the wrong direction. It's discipline inverted. And if you don't break it, it becomes your default wiring. You've done it for years without realizing it. You lie in bed at night replaying what could go wrong. You imagine problems that don't exist yet. You script disaster before the day even begins. And the subconscious, loyal, obedient, non-judgmental, says, "Got it. Let's make that real." That's how the cycle starts. You wake up tired because your mind spent the night building blueprints of fear. You start your day with doubt because your subconscious practiced it all night long, and you wonder why opportunities slip by. You wonder why confidence feels temporary. You wonder why every victory feels like a fluke. It's not bad luck. It's bad wiring. And tonight, that ends. You have a choice. You can keep worrying about what might happen, or you can start wiring what will happen. That's the key. See, the brain doesn't distinguish between imagination and reality. When you imagine failure vividly, your body reacts as if it's real. Your heart races, your muscles tense. Your mind memorizes the feeling of loss before it even occurs. You're literally training yourself to expect defeat. That's what worry does. But if you reverse it, if you imagine success, if you visualize peace, if you rehearse victory, your body begins to expect that. Your subconscious starts preparing for that. It aligns your actions toward that. Because what you rehearse, you repeat. And what you repeat, you become. Stop worrying. Start wiring. Let's break it down. Step 1. Interrupt the loop. Worry thrives on repetition. It's an uninvited guest that feeds on attention. The moment you catch yourself spiraling, stop. Say it out loud. Not this time. Interrupt the thought. Break the pattern. Don't argue with worry. Replace it. Arguing keeps it alive. Replacing kills it. Say something opposite. I'm safe. I'm in control. I've handled worse. Each declaration is a brick in your new foundation. Step 2. Redirect the energy. Worry burns energy, massive amounts of it. You can't destroy that energy, but you can redirect it. Instead of replaying, "What if I fail?" replay, "What if I win?" Instead of predicting chaos, predict calm. Use the same imagination, the same intensity, but in the right direction. That's the secret of high performers. They don't stop thinking. They start aiming their thoughts. You can't turn your mind off, but you can train it to work for you. And that's the shift that changes everything. Because once your mind learns that peace is the default, not panic, it protects that peace like treasure. It becomes allergic to anxiety. It refuses to dwell on problems. That's what rewiring looks like. Step 3. reinforced through repetition. The subconscious is like wet cement. Every repeated thought leaves a mark. Think something long enough, and it hardens into identity. So tonight, before bed, repeat this until it becomes your rhythm. I release control of what I can't change. I choose faith over fear. I trust my preparation. I am wiring wealth, not worry. Say it until it feels true. Say it until your breathing slows. Say it until your body believes you, because when you sleep in that frequency, your subconscious builds a different reality. It goes to work in the dark, assembling confidence, calm, and creativity. That's why this matters. This isn't a motivational trick. It's neurological training. You're teaching your brain to focus on what builds you, not what breaks you. You can't build wealth from panic. You can't build confidence from chaos. You can't build peace from worry. Worry feels productive because it mimics preparation. It feels like you're doing something, but it's a lie. It's motion without progress. It's activity without alignment. Preparation says, I'm ready. Worry says, I'm doomed. They both use energy, but only one moves you forward. That's why you must choose your mental rehearsal carefully. Because what you practice becomes permanent. Here's a truth that should shake you awake. You're not anxious because life is uncertain. You're anxious because your thoughts are undisciplined. But discipline is a choice. You can train it like a muscle. And tonight is your gym. Every time you replace worry with vision, you strengthen that muscle. Every night you fall asleep in peace, you train your subconscious to expect peace. And the more you expect peace, the faster you notice chaos and reject it. That's mastery. And here's where it all connects to wealth. Because this audiobook isn't about comfort. It's about prosperity. Wealth isn't just about numbers. It's about nervous system control. A calm mind makes better decisions. A focused mind sees opportunities faster. A peaceful mind attracts solutions instead of problems. That's the mental economy of the rich. While everyone else burns energy in worry, they conserve it for creativity. They use their nights for alignment, not anxiety. And that's why they always seem lucky. They're not lucky. They're wired. So tonight, build your wiring. Before sleep, do this simple reset. Write down 3 things that went right today, no matter how small. Speak 1 sentence of power. I trust my path. Close your eyes and breathe deeply, as if you're inhaling certainty. That's it. Simple, direct, powerful. You're teaching your subconscious a new bedtime language, the key language of calm dominance. Do it for 7 nights straight. Watch how your mornings shift. You'll notice fewer anxious thoughts. You'll wake up earlier, clearer, sharper, because your mind will have new instructions. Build, don't break. And when the day challenges you, because it will, you'll feel the difference. You'll react slower, think clearer, decide stronger. Why? Because you reprogrammed the operating system. Stop worrying, start wiring. That's not a slogan. That's survival. That's evolution. You can't afford to spend another night teaching your mind to fear. Fear is expensive. It costs focus. It costs energy. It costs opportunity. But wiring, that pays dividends forever. So tonight, when worry knocks, answer with faith. When fear whispers, drown it with focus. When doubt creeps in, remind yourself, I'm not repeating fear. I'm reinforcing faith. That's how transformation starts. That's how you take control of the unseen hours, the ones that actually shape your destiny. You don't need more confidence. You need fewer contradictions. You don't need new motivation. You need new mental wiring, because your subconscious doesn't argue. It obeys. Feed it strength, and it will act strong. Feed it worry, and it will act weak. You decide. Every night, every thought, every word, the mind that worries wastes. The mind that wires wins, and tomorrow morning, and when you wake up calm, sharp, ready, you'll realize you didn't just rest. You rebuilt, because you didn't go to sleep. You went to work. Now you've silenced the noise. You've taken back the night. You've stopped worrying and started wiring. Next, we'll go deeper, into the art of soft control, because power isn't always loud. Sometimes it whispers. Chapter 3. Whisper, don't shout. The power of gentle affirmation. Power doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers. And when it does, the world listens. You've been told to shout your goals, to scream your affirmations, to chant your mantras until your voice breaks. But here's the truth. Your subconscious doesn't need volume. It needs consistency. It doesn't respond to noise. It responds to certainty. When you whisper something with absolute conviction, your mind listens differently. It feels the weight. It absorbs the tone. Because whispers are intimate. Whispers are personal. Whispers bypass resistance. That's why this chapter matters. You've learned to stop worrying. You've begun rewiring. Now, you must learn how to speak to your subconscious correctly. You've heard the phrase, fake it till you make it. But you can't fake energy. You can't scream confidence if you don't believe it yet. The subconscious knows. It hears the doubt behind the volume, so stop shouting to convince yourself. Start whispering to command yourself. That's the key. Let's get one thing straight. Affirmations aren't magic spells. They're mental instructions. They're quiet reminders of who you are becoming. And when done correctly, when spoken gently, slowly, repeatedly, they reshape identity. Say something softly enough, long enough, and your brain will tattoo it on your soul. That's how transformation works. Not through bursts of noise, but through layers of repetition. Not through shouting, but through steady conviction. Think of water dripping on rock. It doesn't conquer by force. It conquers by patience. That's affirmation. That's reprogramming. Every night before you sleep, every morning before you rise, you are training your subconscious. You're telling it who to become, and it believes you. Not because you yell, but because you repeat. You become what you repeat, especially when you're not awake to resist it. So here's the first rule. Tone over volume. Speak gently but mean every word. When you say, I am confident, say it like you're telling a trusted friend a secret, not performing for an audience. When you say, I am wealthy, say it like you're reporting a fact, not begging for proof. That's the difference between noise and truth. You don't have to convince yourself, you have to remind yourself. Because the person you want to be already exists inside you. They're waiting for permission to speak louder than your fear. That's what the whisper does. It bypasses fear. Let's practice. Close your eyes. Take a breath. Now whisper this to yourself. I am calm. I am capable. I am becoming stronger each night. Feel the difference? No pressure. No resistance. No pretending. Just truth spoken softly enough to sink deep. That's the doorway. And when you practice this nightly, something remarkable happens. Your subconscious starts to respond. It begins to echo those words back through your actions. You'll notice subtle shifts. Less overthinking. More certainty. More peace. You'll make decisions faster, not because you know everything, but because you trust yourself. That's what we're building here. Trust. You can't bully your mind into greatness. You must guide it there. The shout commands attention. The whisper builds belief. You've been shouting goals that your subconscious didn't believe. Now you'll whisper truths it can't ignore. Because the subconscious isn't a crowd. It's a child. It learns through safety, repetition, and emotion. You don't scream at a child to teach them. You reassure them. You build security. You build confidence. And every night before sleep, that's your job. To reassure your own mind that it's safe to grow. Say it like this. I release the need to rush. I trust my timing. I am enough even as I evolve. Repeat it slowly. Let the words settle. Let the energy match your breath. This is not weakness. This is control. You don't need to force belief. You need to feel belief. That's what activates the subconscious. Emotion is the currency it trades in. The stronger the emotion, the deeper the wiring. But strength doesn't mean intensity. It means authenticity. It means speaking words you actually want to believe. That's the difference between affirmations and delusions. You don't have to pretend to be a millionaire tonight. You just have to feel like the kind of person who's becoming one. That's believable. That's powerful. That's progress. You are not tricking your mind. You are teaching it. Here's your nightly exercise. Write down 3 identity statements. Not about what you want, but about who you are. Example. I am focused. I am patient. I am in control of my choices. Whisper each one 3 times, softly, intentionally. No rush. Match your breathing to the rhythm of the words. Visualize yourself already living it. Don't see it as distant, see it as present. You're not waiting to become this. You're remembering it. Do this for 21 nights. You'll notice a shift. Your voice will start carrying quiet authority. Your thoughts will slow down. Your mind will stop fighting itself because finally, it believes you. You don't need to shout. You just need to be consistent. Whispering your goals isn't weakness. It's mastery. It's how the disciplined train their minds without exhausting their energy. The loud affirmations might feel powerful for a moment, but they fade. The quiet ones linger. They replay when you're half asleep, half awake, in that delicate place where new beliefs take root. And that's where transformation actually happens, not in noise, but in nuance. So tonight, whisper. Whisper your wealth, whisper your confidence, whisper your clarity. And mean it because your subconscious doesn't need shouting, it needs certainty, it needs peace. It needs proof that you're serious enough to stay consistent even when no one's watching. This is where real change lives, not in the loud, visible effort, but in the quiet, invisible repetition. That's how you reprogram identity. That's how you build unstoppable momentum. So remember, the whisper is the beginning of belief. And belief, steady, calm, disciplined belief, is the foundation of wealth. Whisper every night until your mind starts answering back. Because when your subconscious finally whispers the same words to you, that's when you've won. You've learned to silence fear. You've learned to speak gently to power. And now it's time to live that power and not just think it. You've whispered truth. Now it's time to live it through ritual. Chapter 4. The rich man's bedtime routine. Wealth doesn't begin at sunrise. It begins at night. Before the money? Before the strategy. Before the deal. The foundation of prosperity is built in the hours no one sees. The quiet, disciplined, invisible hours before sleep. Every rich man, every focused mind, every disciplined builder has a ritual. Not an accident, a ritual. Because success doesn't happen in chaos. It happens in sequence. Most people waste their nights. They scroll. They stress. They replay conversations that don't matter. They poison their peace and expect to wake up productive. You can't do that anymore. You want to dream big and wake rich? Then you must own your last hour like it's gold, because it is. The last 60 minutes before you sleep determine the next 6 hours of mental programming. They decide what you wake believing. They define how you start your day. You can't pour from an anxious mind. You can't build from an exhausted heart. That's why the rich protect their bedtime routine with the same seriousness they protect their investments. Because they understand one thing: the night trains the mind. So let's break it down. The rich man's bedtime routine. Simple, repeatable, unshakable. Step 1. Reflect. Close the day with ownership. The poor replay blame. The rich replay lessons. Before you close your eyes, ask one question. What did I learn today? Don't judge it. Don't analyze it. Just acknowledge it. If you failed, good. That's feedback. If you won, better. That's proof. Reflection is wealth. It compounds. It builds wisdom brick by brick. The average mind runs from discomfort. The rich mind studies it. Because the rich man doesn't hide from his mistakes. He harvests them. That's how you end each day. Not as a victim, but as a scientist of your own growth. Write down 3 sentences. What went right? What went wrong? What I'll improve tomorrow? That's it. No drama, no guilt. Just data. You're closing mental tabs, not carrying them into sleep, and once you reflect, move forward. The day is over. The lesson remains. That's ownership. Step 2. Rewire, feed the mind abundance. Now your subconscious is wide open. It's ready to absorb whatever you give it. So give it power. Repeat your nightly affirmations softly, not loud, but certain. I am disciplined. I am prepared. I am ready for opportunity. Don't say it to feel good. Say it to feel real. Because this is not fantasy. It's formation. You're forming neural pathways that will dictate your behavior tomorrow. When you sleep after affirming strength, you wake with confidence. When you sleep after affirming gratitude, you wake with perspective. When you sleep after affirming focus, you wake with clarity. That's the secret rhythm of the wealthy. They go to bed aligned. You have to understand, success isn't built from 1,000 random efforts. It's built from repeating the right small disciplines every day, every night. Feed your mind the same story of strength until it stops questioning it. Until I am becomes I always. That's when the programming locks in. Step 3. Reset. Detach from the noise. After reflection and affirmation, there's one more step. Disconnection. Because the mind can't restore what it refuses to release. The rich man knows this. Stillness is a strategy. He's not glued to screens. He's not chasing dopamine through late-night scrolling. He's not comparing, complaining, consuming. He's resting intentionally. That's the difference between burnout and breakthrough. Burnout happens when you fill every quiet moment with distraction. Breakthrough happens when you allow silence to sharpen you. So before sleep, detach. No screens, no stress, no stimulation. 10 minutes of stillness. That's all it takes. Breathe. Listen. Center yourself. When your mind slows down, your subconscious steps forward. That's where creativity lives. That's where intuition whispers. That's where wealth thinking begins. Because the truth is, you can't hear opportunity if your mind is always noisy. Silence isn't empty. It's information-rich, and that's why the rich man values it. He doesn't fear quiet. He harvests from it. He ends every night with intention. And when he does, he doesn't just sleep. He downloads clarity. Step 4. Rest. Let the mind build. Now comes the final act. Rest. Not escape. Not collapse. Rest with purpose. Sleep is your body's investment cycle. You deposit stillness. You withdraw clarity. You deposit gratitude. You withdraw energy. You deposit focus. You withdraw direction, but only if you rest right. Your sleep is sacred. It's not a gap between work. It's part of the work. The disciplined don't sacrifice rest. They schedule it. Because they know tired minds make poor decisions. And poor decisions are expensive. So tonight, protect your rest. Set boundaries. Set rituals. Set respect for your own recharge. You don't earn sleep. You strategize it. Because while your body sleeps, your subconscious builds. That's how you win before you even wake. Now, let's connect this. You've reflected. You've learned from your day. You've rewired. You've fed your mind the language of success. You've reset. You've cut off distraction and created silence. You've rested. You've let your subconscious execute the plan. That's the system. That's the rich man's bedtime routine. It's simple, but it's sacred. Repeat it every night and watch what happens in 30 days. You'll start waking up ahead of your thoughts, not behind them. You'll start making choices from clarity, not chaos. You'll stop chasing wealth and start attracting it. Because discipline done daily becomes destiny. The difference between exhaustion and expansion is ritual. The poor sleep to escape. The rich sleep to evolve. And that's the mindset that turns dreams into dividends. So tonight, make your choice. Scroll or study. React or reflect. Collapse or construct. Every night is a vote for your future. And your bedtime routine is your ballot. You can drift into another mindless night. Or you can design it. You can waste the silence. Or you can let it whisper success into your subconscious. The choice, as always, is yours. And remember this. Discipline doesn't sleep. It whispers. It waits. It wins quietly, one routine at a time. You are now living the rhythm of the rich. And that rhythm compounds. You've built the structure. Now it's time to read the signals your mind sends back. The data within your dreams. Chapter 5. Dreams as Data. What your subconscious is trying to tell you every night, your mind speaks. The question is, are you listening? You call them dreams, but your subconscious calls them data. Because every image, every symbol, every emotion that flashes behind your eyelids, it's feedback. It's not random. It's a report. Your dreams are the nightly status update of your inner world. They tell you what you truly believe. They show you what you truly fear. And if you know how to read them, They reveal the truth about your direction. You see, you can lie to the world. You can even lie to yourself. But you can't lie to your subconscious. It knows. It records everything. That's why the rich, the disciplined, the conscious, they study their dreams. Not for fantasy. For feedback. Because success is self-awareness multiplied by action. And dreams are your subconscious trying to hand you that awareness. For free. So let's decode it. Step 1. Your subconscious never sleeps. Your conscious mind tires. It shuts down. It gets overwhelmed, but your subconscious, it never stops. It's the silent architect of your behavior. While you sleep, it organizes everything you experience that day. It filters what matters from what doesn't. It stores the patterns. It searches for meaning. That's why your dreams often feel emotional, vivid, or strange, because they're your subconscious testing beliefs. When you dream of being late, it's not about time. It's about control. When you dream of falling, and it's not about height, it's about uncertainty. When you dream of being chased, it's not about danger, it's about avoidance. You see, your subconscious communicates in symbols because symbols bypass logic. They go straight to truth. And here's the truth. Your subconscious will keep repeating the same themes until you face them consciously. That's why you keep having the same kinds of dreams. It's your mind saying, you haven't fixed this yet, so listen. Not with fear, with curiosity. The disciplined don't ignore their inner data, they interpret it. That's power. Step 2. Record before you forget. The richest people journal their thoughts. The wisest people journal their dreams, because both are windows into behavior. The difference? Dreams tell you what's running automatically. Every morning before you touch your phone, write down what you remember. Even fragments, even one line. You're not writing poetry. You're gathering data. Don't overanalyze yet. Just capture it. Emotion, image, pattern. Over time, you'll see repetition. And repetition is the map to your programming. That's the secret few know. The subconscious speaks through consistency. The more you track your dreams, the clearer the message becomes. You'll start to see where you self-sabotage, where you doubt, where you're ready to rise, but haven't yet allowed yourself to. That's awareness, and awareness is currency, because you can't fix what you won't face. And your subconscious won't stop sending the signal until you respond. The successful know how to turn awareness into advantage. They don't dismiss discomfort. They decode it. Step 3. Decode without drama. This is where most people fail. They overthink. They dramatize. They turn interpretation into confusion. Don't do that. This is not mysticism. This is mental mechanics. You don't need a dream dictionary. You need self-honesty. Ask 3 simple questions. What emotion stood out? What situation did it mirror in my waking life? What action do I need to take? That's it. Emotion, mirror, action. If you dream of drowning, maybe you're overwhelmed by commitments. If you dream of running, maybe you're avoiding a decision. If you dream of success but feel anxiety, maybe deep down, you still doubt you deserve it. Don't interpret your dream to predict the future. Interpret it to perfect your focus. Because your subconscious doesn't care about fantasy. It cares about survival. And success is a form of mental survival. The rich understand this. They don't dream just to escape reality. They dream to improve it. That's why every great creator, innovator, or visionary talks about ideas coming in sleep. Because their subconscious was already building while they rested. That's not coincidence. That's training. You can train your subconscious too. Feed it focus before bed, and it will process clarity overnight. Feed it chaos, and it will replay confusion. You decide what code you install. And your dreams tell you whether the system is running clean or corrupted. Step 4. Dream design. Reprogram the subconscious. Here's where power begins. Once you know that your subconscious is programmable, you stop being a victim of it. You stop being haunted by dreams. You start directing them. Every night before you sleep, plant intention. One clear, simple thought. I am attracting clarity. I am building wealth with discipline. I am confident and calm in all decisions. This isn't fantasy. It's neurological training. Because your subconscious doesn't know the difference between imagined and real, It only knows repetition. That's why affirmations work. That's why visualization works. That's why disciplined minds sleep differently. They go to bed with purpose. They dream with purpose. They wake with purpose. That's how you use dreams as data, not decoration. You feed the mind information. You observe how it responds. You adjust. You refine. You evolve. That's the feedback loop of the wealthy. They don't just reflect on what they did. They analyze what they dreamed. Because when your subconscious starts showing you victory, not fear, you know the reprogramming is complete. You no longer wake anxious. You wake aligned, and that alignment is what draws opportunity. Step 5, integration. From night to day now, take the message from the dream and apply it in daylight. If your dream showed hesitation, act boldly. If it showed chaos, simplify. If it showed pursuit, stop running and face it. The subconscious gives you direction. The conscious must follow through. That's how dreamers become doers. You see, it's not about controlling every thought. It's about responding to every message. Your mind is trying to help you evolve. If you'll just listen, every night gives you data. Every morning gives you a choice. Use the data or repeat the cycle. Because here's the truth. Dreams don't lie. They don't flatter. They expose. And when you start using them as feedback, not fantasy, you begin to move from wishful to powerful. That's when you stop dreaming about success and start living it. You're no longer afraid of your subconscious. You've made it your ally. You've turned sleep into a strategy, dreams into direction. That's mastery. Now that you can listen, it's time to speak back. Not just through affirmations, but through design. You've decoded the message. Now you must build the environment that reinforces it. Because the subconscious doesn't just listen to words, it listens to surroundings, every sound, every space, every signal. So let's make your environment speak abundance. Chapter 6. The Language of Your Environment. How space programs the subconscious. You think your mind runs your life. But your environment runs your mind. Every wall you see, every sound you hear, every object you keep, it speaks. The question is, what is it saying? Your space is not neutral. It's programming you. It's teaching you what to tolerate. It's training your subconscious what's normal. And if you're surrounded by chaos, clutter, noise, and distraction, your subconscious learns one message: I live in disorder. And when your environment whispers disorder, your decisions echo it. You wake messy. You think messy. You plan messy. You act messy. That's why the rich protect their environment with intensity. Not for luxury, but for leverage. Because they understand. Environment equals identity. You become what you repeat. But you also become what surrounds you. Your room, your desk, your home. They're not just spaces. They're scripts. And every night, your subconscious reads them. Step 1. The silent teacher. Your space reflects your standards. Look around right now. Every item you see is a decision. That pile of clothes, a delay, that messy desk, indecision, that broken thing you keep saying you'll fix, avoidance. Your environment is a mirror, and it reflects your standards back to you, constantly. If your surroundings are chaotic, your mind can't be calm. If your surroundings are neglected, your discipline can't grow. You can't build an abundant life inside a neglected space. Because the subconscious can't believe abundance while it sees neglect. You train your brain every time you choose what to keep around you. Each choice says, this is what I value. This is what I accept. This is what I believe I deserve. And your subconscious takes note, quietly, permanently. That's why the first step to upgrading your mindset is upgrading your environment. Not because of aesthetics, but because of alignment. You can't say I'm becoming wealthy while living in visual poverty. You can't say I value clarity while walking through clutter. Your space must speak the same language as your vision. That's integrity. And your subconscious knows the difference. Step 2. Clarity through elimination. Wealthy minds don't chase more. They refine what already exists. Clarity doesn't come from adding, it comes from subtracting. So before you decorate, eliminate. Before you buy, simplify. Before you enhance, remove. Minimalism is not about emptiness, it's about accuracy. Every unnecessary thing in your environment competes for your focus. And focus is your only true currency. You don't need to live like a monk, but you do need to live like a professional. Ask yourself, does this serve me or distract me? If it doesn't serve, it sabotages. If it doesn't empower, it erodes. Let go. Every drawer you clean, every corner you organize, every unnecessary item you remove. That's a statement. It says, I control my space. And when you control your space, your subconscious relaxes. A calm environment equals a focused mind. And a focused mind attracts wealth you don't manifest. Prosperity by wishing for it. You create an environment that demands it. That's how you make discipline visible. Step 3. Design 4. Direction. Once you've cleared the noise, now you build intention. Every room should tell your subconscious where you're headed. Your desk should whisper focus. Your bed should whisper rest. Your kitchen should whisper fuel. Your mirror should whisper confidence. This isn't decor. It's design psychology. Successful people don't decorate to impress. They design to perform. Look at your current setup. Does it reflect your goals? Does it help your habits? Does it tell your subconscious what matters? Because when your environment aligns with your direction, your energy compounds. You no longer fight against your surroundings. They work for you. You walk into your workspace and feel alert. You enter your bedroom and feel peace. You move through your home and feel purpose. That's alignment, internal and external harmony. It's not about money. It's about meaning. Every color, every sound, every scent, they all communicate. They can either drain or direct you. Choose direction. Step 4. Protect the frequency. Your environment isn't just visual, it's vibrational. Every sound, every person, every energy has a frequency, and your subconscious absorbs all of it. Who do you allow in your space? What music do you let play? What content runs in the background while you work or rest? That's all programming. Noise creates noise. Focus creates focus. You can't think clearly if your environment speaks chaos. You can't feel strong if your space screams stress. Protect your frequency. Protect your focus. Protect your future. That's why the wealthy are selective, not arrogant. They know proximity is power. They know environment is energy. They know exposure shapes expectation, so be ruthless about it. Don't just clean your space, curate it. Don't just tidy your desk, tune your frequency, silence what drains you. Surround yourself with signals of success, not fake luxury, real alignment. Books that build you, objects that inspire you, spaces that calm you. That's the real abundance. Step 5. Ritualize the reset. Here's the truth. Your environment doesn't stay aligned by accident. You must reset it daily. Every morning, every night, bring order back, because disorder is constant. Entropy is natural. Discipline must be intentional. You don't clean for aesthetics. You clean for clarity. You don't organize for show. You organize for flow. Every time you put something back in place, your subconscious feels safety. It says, we're in control, and control is confidence. This ritual doesn't take hours. It takes mindset. A 10-minute reset every day keeps your space sharp, and a sharp space keeps your focus unstoppable. That's how professionals operate. They don't wait for motivation. They maintain momentum, because your environment either drains energy or multiplies it. There's no neutral ground. Every object in your space is a vote. Every sound is a suggestion. Every color is a command. So ask yourself, what is your space saying about you? If it doesn't speak success, rewrite the language. If it doesn't mirror your goals, redesign the script, because the subconscious listens. Always. You can't fake discipline in your environment. It exposes you. But you can train discipline through your environment. It transforms you. And when your surroundings start matching your standards, your reality catches up fast. That's the power of alignment. Your subconscious doesn't just live in your head, it lives in your home. It learns from what it sees, feels, and hears every day. So design your space like a declaration. Let it shout your standards. Let it whisper your future. Let it remind you, you're building something bigger. Because your mind may dream success, but your environment either confirms or cancels it. Change your surroundings, and your subconscious will follow. And when your subconscious changes, everything else must rise to meet it. This is the law of alignment. This is how space shapes destiny. You've learned to master your nights. You've learned to listen to your dreams. And now you've learned to design your environment. Next, we go deeper, from what you see to what you say, because your environment speaks to your subconscious. But your words command it. Chapter 7. Words as spells. How your language programs your reality. Every word you speak is a command. Not to others, to yourself. Your language is not harmless. It's a spell. It programs your subconscious. It tells your brain what to believe, what to expect, what to become. You are literally speaking your future, sentence by sentence. That's why the disciplined watch their language like they watch their spending. They know careless words cost more than careless money, because the subconscious doesn't know the difference between joke and truth. It only knows repetition. Say, I'm tired long enough, and you'll feel tired. Say, I'm broke often enough, and your mind will protect that identity. Say, I'm trying, and your brain will never cross the line to doing. You become fluent in your own excuses, and your subconscious listens like a loyal soldier carrying out orders. That's the power and the danger of language. You are always casting spells. The only question is, are you speaking limitation or liberation? Step 1, the law of verbal reality. Here's the truth. Your subconscious is literal. It believes what you repeat. If you say, I can't handle this, your mind doesn't debate. It obeys. If you say, this always happens to me, your subconscious starts looking for proof. If you say, I'm not good enough, your actions will subconsciously align to make it true. That's the mechanism of identity. You speak. You repeat. You become. The poor speak from reaction. The rich speak from intention because they know words are not description. Words are creation. Every I am is a blueprint. Every sentence is a seed. And whatever you plant repeatedly becomes your harvest. That's not magic. That's neurology. Your words trigger images. Images trigger emotions. Emotions trigger actions. Actions trigger results. You don't need to understand the science to use it, but you need to respect the system. Your mouth is the front door to your mind. Guard what enters. Command what exits. Step 2. The hidden vocabulary of poverty. Listen closely to the language of the average person. It's filled with defeat, with excuses disguised as humor, with limitation dressed as realism. They say, I can't afford that. I'm just unlucky. It's not that easy. That's just how it is. Every time they say it, they reinforce a wall in their subconscious, a wall built out of can't, and eventually they live inside that wall. The mind doesn't break free from what it keeps repeating. The rich speak differently. They replace final statements with framing statements. Instead of, I can't afford that, they say, how can I afford that? Instead of, I'm unlucky, they say, what did I miss that I can learn from? Instead of, it's not easy, they say, it's not easy yet. That one word, yet, changes everything. It shifts the subconscious from finality to flexibility, from closed to open, from limitation to possibility. Language is leverage, and one upgraded phrase can rewrite your future trajectory. Step 3. The discipline of precision. Your subconscious thrives on clarity. It doesn't execute vague commands. So stop saying things like, I just want to be successful. I want to be happy. I want to be rich. Those words are smoke, no substance. Be specific. Define it. Direct it. Say, I am building a business that generates freedom. I am mastering habits that create stability. I am developing discipline that attracts wealth. The difference? One version drifts, the other directs. Vagueness creates confusion. Precision creates conviction. And conviction is what programs the subconscious into belief, because the brain seeks evidence of whatever it's told. If your words are clear, it finds clear opportunities. If your words are foggy, it finds nothing. That's why powerful people speak with intention. They understand. Clarity commands compliance. Step 4. replacing reaction with declaration. Most people talk about what is. Winners talk about what will be. Average minds describe. Wealthy minds declare. When you declare, you shift your subconscious from observer to architect. Instead of, I hope this works, say this will work. Because I will make it work. Instead of, I don't know what to do, say, I'm learning what to do. Instead of, I'm stuck, say, I'm preparing for my next step. It's not delusion. It's direction. Declarations are how you rehearse your future, and repetition is how you install it. Say it daily. Say it consciously. Say it with certainty. Because here's what's happening beneath the surface. Your words become neural pathways, and your neural pathways become habits. Speak strength long enough, and strength becomes natural. Speak fear long enough, and fear becomes automatic. You're already hypnotizing yourself every day. The question is with what? Step 5. The language reset ritual. You don't change your life by talking once. You change it by talking differently every day. Here's how to do it. Awareness. For one full day, record your negative phrases. Every complaint, every I can't, every I'm tired. See your patterns, rewrite. Replace each one with a power statement. Turn I'm exhausted into I'm recharging. Turn I hate mornings into mornings build me. Repeat. Every night before sleep, say 5 declarations of identity. I am disciplined. I am focused. I am wealthy in thought and action. I am grateful and grounded. I am becoming the person I used to pray to be. You're not saying these for motivation. You're saying them for reprogramming, because your subconscious records repetition, not emotion. It obeys frequency, not intensity. Keep feeding it the same commands, and it will reshape your behavior to match. That's how the disciplined use language. They don't talk about change. They talk like change, and their subconscious follows. Your words are the software. Your mind is the processor. Your results are the output. Garbage in, garbage out. Power in, power out. It's that simple. It's that serious. You're not just speaking to people. You're speaking to programming. You're speaking to your identity, and your identity will always act to prove your words right. So choose them wisely. Repeat them daily. Guard them fiercely, because you can't speak defeat and expect victory. You can't speak doubt and expect discipline. You can't speak fear and expect freedom. Every word is a weapon. Every sentence is a seed. Every phrase is a future. You don't need more motivation. You need mastery over your mouth, because when your words change, your world follows. Now you've mastered how to speak your future into being. Next, we master how to see it before it arrives. Because the mind doesn't move toward words alone, it moves toward images. And what you visualize before sleep becomes your subconscious blueprint. Chapter 8. The Vision Before Sleep. Seeing Wealth Before You. Wake words build direction, but vision builds destiny. You can't walk toward what you can't see, and you can't attract what your mind refuses to imagine. Every empire begins as an image. Every fortune starts as a film, played privately in the mind before it's seen publicly in the world. The subconscious doesn't think in words. It thinks in pictures. It obeys imagery. It responds to repetition. That's why you must become the director of your mental movie, not a passive viewer. Because if you don't design what you see before sleep, your subconscious will replay what it already knows. Fear, doubt, scarcity, noise. And every night that happens, it builds a stronger neural path toward limitation. So let's stop replaying the past and start previewing the future. That's the secret of visualization. You're not imagining fantasy. You're programming familiarity. You're teaching your subconscious that success is not someday. It's normal. Step 1. The Science of Vision. Why images? Command the mind. Your brain doesn't care about your goals. It cares about what it's familiar with. If struggle is familiar, it will find ways to repeat it. If discipline is familiar, it will find ways to reinforce it. That's the function of the subconscious. Preserve consistency. So if you want a richer life, you have to make that life feel familiar before it happens. Visualization does exactly that. It's mental rehearsal. It's your mind's way of saying, this is safe, this is expected, This is me. Every night when you close your eyes, your brain runs simulations. Most people let those simulations be random, fear-based, reactive. But the disciplined run intentional simulations, faith-based, creative. They pre-play success. They rehearse composure. They preview results. And by the time reality arrives, their mind has already been there. That's the difference between anxiety and mastery. One rehearses fear. The other rehearses focus. Step 2. The nightly visualization ritual. Here's how you train your subconscious with precision. No fluff, no mysticism. Just neurological leverage. Step 1. Lie down. Turn off all lights. Breathe slowly. Step 2. Bring to mind one clear image of your next level. Not 10, not vague, just one. It could be you waking up early, disciplined and calm. You closing the deal. You seeing your account grow. You moving through your day with control and confidence. Make it specific. Make it vivid. Make it real. Step 3. Add emotion. Don't just see it. Feel it. How does success breathe? How does discipline walk? How does peace sound? You're not faking. You're familiarizing. Your subconscious doesn't respond to logic. It responds to emotion. So every feeling you generate becomes fuel for the programming. Step 4. Repeat this every night for 21 days straight. Why? Because repetition turns rehearsal into reflex. And once it becomes reflex, the subconscious starts steering your daily choices toward alignment. You start noticing opportunities you used to miss. You start acting like the person you used to only imagine. That's when visualization becomes transformation. Step 3. Replace fear films with power films. Here's the problem. Most people visualize failure unconsciously. They replay arguments. They rewatch mistakes. They preview disappointment. And their subconscious assumes, this is what we're expecting tomorrow. So guess what happens tomorrow? It finds ways to confirm it. That's how self-sabotage is built, through mental replays of fear. To break it, you must replace the film. When your mind starts replaying a negative image, interrupt it immediately. Don't argue with it. Overwrite it to replace, I might fail with I will rise. Replace, I'm not ready with I'm prepared. Replace, I always mess this up with, I've mastered this before. Repetition installs reality. Your job is to repeat strength until your mind stops doubting it. The subconscious doesn't resist persistence. You can't erase fear, but you can outprogram it. Step 4. The subconscious doesn't know the difference. Here's where most people get it wrong. They think visualization is pretending. It's not. It's pre-installation. Your subconscious doesn't know whether what it's seeing is memory or imagination. It only knows emotion and repetition. That's why elite athletes use visualization before performance. Their bodies react as if the event already happened. Their muscles remember the pattern before execution. The wealthy do the same, financially, mentally, emotionally. They don't just wish for results. They live inside the reality they're building. Mentally first, they wake up already conditioned for success because they fell asleep rehearsing it. Visualization is not about waiting for belief. It's about creating it. When you see yourself strong, calm, disciplined, abundant, your subconscious adapts. It rewires perception to match projection. And once the subconscious believes it, your conscious behavior must follow. That's how identity shifts, not through motivation, through mental repetition. Step 5. Anchor the vision into the physical now. Here's the secret most miss. You have to connect your visualization to a physical anchor, something your body can associate with the image. It could be touching your chest as you repeat, I am in control. It could be a deep breath before you picture your goals. It could be writing down one sentence that matches your vision every morning. I live with focus. I move with purpose. I rest with peace. When you pair visualization with physical sensation, the subconscious locks it in faster because it sees, feels, and believes simultaneously. This is the science behind embodiment. The body follows the mind, but only when the mind feels real. You don't need a fancy vision board. You need a vivid mental movie you replay nightly, until it stops feeling like a dream and starts feeling like memory. That's the switch. When the vision stops feeling distant and starts feeling normal, the subconscious concludes, we're already this person. And that's when life begins rearranging to match. Visualization is not daydreaming. It's discipline in disguise. It's your nightly strategy session with your future. It's your subconscious rehearsal for wealth, focus, and composure. You don't visualize to escape. You visualize to expand. The poor visualize problems. The wealthy visualize possibilities. One stays stuck in memory. The other lives in creation. Tonight, before you close your eyes, ask yourself, what movie will I let my mind play? Don't watch the rerun of doubt. Play the preview of destiny. See it, feel it, repeat it, and soon, what you used to visualize will become what you wake to live. Because wealth doesn't start in the bank. It starts in the imagination, and the disciplined dreamer always wakes richer than he slept. You've learned to command your language. You've learned to command your imagery. Now it's time to command your emotions, because it's not enough to see and speak success. You must feel it consistently, no matter what happens around you. That's where emotional control becomes your real currency. Chapter 9. Emotional Discipline. Staying rich inside. Before you're rich, outside money doesn't make you calm. Calm makes you money. People chase wealth because they think it'll give them peace. But peace is what creates wealth. You've seen it before. Someone wins, then loses it all. Because they mastered action, but never emotion. They could earn, but they couldn't hold. You can't build wealth with a chaotic heart. You can't sustain success if your emotions are bankrupt. That's why emotional discipline is everything. It's the invisible account that funds all visible success. The silent currency. There are two kinds of people in the world. Those who let emotions control behavior, and those who let behavior control emotion. The first group reacts. The second group responds, and the difference between them is the difference between poverty and prosperity. Every time you react emotionally, you spend energy. Every time you respond intentionally, you invest energy. That's the distinction the rich understand. Wealthy people master emotions because they know this. You can't control markets, but you can control your mood. You can't predict outcomes, but you can predict your response. They stay grounded in chaos. They stay composed under pressure. They don't chase impulse. They move with order. And that's what makes their world stable. Because their inner world is stable first. The storm inside emotional chaos destroys consistency. You know it. One bad conversation. One rejection, one delay, and you spiral. You lose focus. You lose rhythm. You lose the momentum you built. You start over every week because you never control your emotional weather. But the disciplined, they build shelters inside. They train their nervous system to remain calm in fire. They understand this truth. The storm doesn't decide the sailor. The sailor decides how to steer. So here's the practice. When chaos hits, don't react. Pause, breathe, name it. Say, this is anger. This is fear. This is disappointment. The moment you name the emotion, you own it. And the moment you own it, it stops owning you. That's the key. Emotional discipline isn't about feeling nothing. It's about feeling everything, without becoming it. The 3 emotional traps of the undisciplined. Let's expose the patterns that keep people stuck poor in spirit. Trap 1. Emotional spending. They buy to feel control. They spend to fill a void. They confuse relief with reward. But every emotional purchase is a tax on your future peace. Trap 2. Emotional quitting. They stop the moment things don't feel good. They mistake discomfort for danger. They never realize that emotion is temporary, but discipline is permanent. Remember, your feelings don't decide your future. Your focus does. Trap 3. Emotional comparison. They measure success by others' pace, not their own progress. They get jealous instead of inspired. They drain focus by chasing validation instead of building value. Comparison is emotional debt, and most people are deep in it. The wealthy reframe. Here's how the wealthy think differently. When emotions rise, they zoom out. They ask, will this matter in 5 years? And if the answer is no, they let it go in 5 minutes. That's perspective. That's power. The rich aren't heartless. They're just clear. They understand emotions are signals, not commands. Fear says, pay attention. Anger says, set a boundary. Sadness says, reflect. Then they act with logic, not impulse. They don't suppress emotion. They structure it. They use feeling as feedback, not as fuel, and that's why they move through chaos with control. While others are reactive, they are reflective. Emotional automation. How to train the mind to stay calm. Here's how you hardwire calm into your system. Step 1. Observe before you react. The moment emotion spikes, count to 3. That gap between feeling and action is the space where mastery lives. Reacting instantly is cheap. Responding intelligently is wealth. Step 2. Rehearse calm. Every night before sleep, picture yourself staying calm in chaos. See yourself handling stress with control. Repeat, I do not react. I respond. I remain centered. Do this until calm becomes your default. Repetition creates emotional muscle memory. Step 3. Reward control, not comfort. When you stay composed in a situation that used to trigger you, celebrate that. That's a real win. Because emotional stability is the foundation of financial stability. That's the real discipline. The mirror rule. Here's a hard truth. You can't manifest peace while carrying panic. You can't attract abundance if your internal energy screams scarcity. Your external world mirrors your emotional state. If you're always frustrated, opportunities will frustrate you. If you're always grateful, life will multiply what you're grateful for. You attract what you feel familiar with. That's why emotional discipline is wealth insurance. It keeps you aligned when conditions change. It keeps your vibration steady when life wobbles. You can't lead a stable business with an unstable nervous system. You can't raise wealthy children if your house runs on stress. You can't build empires when you keep collapsing inside. The key is not more motivation. It's more emotional control. The emotional budget start tracking your energy like your money. Ask yourself daily, what drained me? What fueled me? What did I waste energy reacting to that didn't deserve my attention? Every wasted reaction is a withdrawal. Every calm decision is a deposit. Protect your emotional capital like it's cash. Because it is. That's the mindset of the rich. They know energy is currency, and discipline is compound interest. Every time you stay calm when chaos calls, you multiply peace, and peace compounds into clarity, and clarity builds consistent wealth. That's the loop. That's the secret. Emotional wealth becomes material. Wealth, when you become rich inside, you become magnetic outside. People trust you. Opportunities open for you. Decisions flow through you, not around you, because people don't follow emotion. They follow emotional leadership. That's why every empire begins inside. Peace first. Prosperity second. Because if you can't regulate your inner chaos, you'll sabotage your outer success. So tonight, as you lie in bed, speak this affirmation. My emotions serve me. I control the narrative. I respond with peace, not panic. Say it until it feels real. Because when calm becomes your identity, wealth becomes your outcome. You are no longer ruled by feelings. You are ruled by focus. That's how rich minds think. You've learned to master your language, your vision, and your emotion. Now it's time to unite them all and turn discipline into identity, because success doesn't happen because of what you do. It happens because of who you become. Chapter 10. Become the Whisper, Living the Identity. You programmed, you've repeated the words. You've seen the images. You've controlled the emotion. Now it's time to become the whisper, because all the affirmations in the world mean nothing if they never become the way you move. You can't speak wealth and walk like fear. You can't visualize control and live in chaos. You can't affirm discipline and act impulsive. At some point, repetition must turn into embodiment. At some point, the voice in your head becomes the rhythm of your life. That's when you stop saying, I will become, and start living, I already am. That's the shift. That's the identity upgrade. That's the whisper made real. The death of the old identity. Before you can live the new, you must bury the old. The broke version of you wasn't defined by lack of money. It was defined by lack of identity. You identified as the struggler, the survivor, the one trying, and every night you fed that story until it became a cage. But you've been reprogramming that cage for weeks now. Every affirmation, every visualization, every act of calm discipline, each one was a hammer blow against that false identity. And now, it's time to walk out free. You are no longer the person who tries to be rich in spirit. You are the person who is. The moment you stop chasing identity and start embodying it, everything outside must adjust, because reality bends to consistency. And nothing is more consistent than a person who has decided who they are. Identity, the final program. The subconscious is obedient. It doesn't argue. It doesn't question. It executes the instructions it's been given repeatedly, and now it believes what you've told it, that you are focused, that you are calm, that you are wealthy, in mindset, in energy, in control. So stop testing the new identity. Start trusting it. That means no more self-doubt disguised as humility. No more playing small to make others comfortable. No more revisiting the old story just to check if it's still there. It's gone. You outgrew it. Let it rest. You are not your past. You are your practice, and your practice has been programming greatness into your cells, one night at a time. The power of embodiment. Here's the secret the world never tells you. When you truly believe, your body changes first. Before your life does, your posture shifts. Your tone steadies. Your energy becomes grounded. People feel it. Opportunities respond to it, because embodiment is louder than speech. You don't need to tell people you're confident. They can feel it. You don't need to announce your discipline. They can see it. You don't need to prove your worth. You radiate it. That's what it means to live as the whisper. It's quiet power, unshakable peace, movement with purpose, speech with weight. Every decision becomes a reflection of the new you, not the old reflex. You don't rush. You align. You don't chase. You attract. You don't beg. You build. That's identity mastery. The real test of becoming isn't tested when it's easy. It's tested when the world tries to pull you back. When the old triggers appear, the old doubts whisper, the old chaos calls your name. But now, you don't respond like before. Because your emotional frequency has changed. You see the same challenge, but from higher ground. You hear the same noise, but it no longer penetrates. That's how you know the identity is locked in. Your reaction changes before your circumstances do. That's the milestone of transformation. The world doesn't shift until you do. And now you have. So when people ask, how did you change your life? You'll smile, because the truth is simple. You changed yourself. The embodied routine. Here's what identity living looks like daily. You wake up as the role. No hesitation. No getting into the zone. You start the day already in character, calm, focused, wealthy in energy. You act from the vision, not the situation. Even when you feel off, you move on purpose. You no longer ask, what do I feel like doing? You ask, what would my highest self do right now? 3. You speak identity, not insecurity. Every sentence is a signal. When you say, I'm tired, your body obeys. When you say, I'm focused, your body follows. When you say, I always finish what I start, the subconscious reinforces it. Words build worlds, and yours are now wealthy. From whisper to command at first, this journey began with whispers, quiet affirmations before sleep. Soft repetition, gentle belief. Now those whispers have become commands. You don't ask your mind to follow anymore. It obeys automatically. You don't beg the world for permission. You direct it with confidence. This is the moment where discipline becomes identity. You no longer need to say, I'm learning. You simply are. That's when you know the subconscious is fully programmed. When action flows naturally from alignment, not effort. The whisper you once spoke has become your voice. The vision you once pictured has become your normal. The wealth you once imagined has become your rhythm. the infinite loop. There's no finish line to mastery, only deepening. Every night you'll still feed your mind peace. Every morning you'll still rise with discipline, but it won't feel like effort anymore. It will feel like breathing. That's how identity works. It automates what used to require force. You've trained your mind to believe in abundance. You've trained your body to act in alignment. And now you've trained your soul to rest in certainty. This is the wealth most never discover, internal stability. Because the person who is unshakable inside can't be broken outside. That's the ultimate prosperity. That's the real inheritance. You've become the whisper. And now the world will start echoing it back. Final affirmation. Say this before sleep tonight. I am the program. I am the proof. I am the person I once prayed to become. You've earned this peace. You've built this discipline. You've reprogrammed your destiny. And from this night forward, you no longer chase abundance. You wake as abundance. You've completed the transformation. You started with whispers of hope. You end with the voice of command. You no longer dream to escape reality. You dream to design it. You no longer wake in confusion. You wake in control. You no longer wait for prosperity. You embody it. So when the world sleeps in worry tonight, you will rest in power. You will rest in vision. You will rest in peace. Because you are the whisper that built your wealth. Dream big. Wake rich. Live unstoppable. You made it. Tonight you didn't just listen, you reprogrammed. You didn't just hear affirmations, that you installed identity. You've done what 99% never do. You took control of the one system that runs your entire destiny, your subconscious. Remember this. Wealth isn't just in your account. It's in your awareness. And every night you fall asleep with purpose, you're expanding both. So here's your challenge, your discipline assignment. For the next 21 nights, replay this audiobook as you drift to sleep. Don't skip. Don't overthink. Just listen. Let every word sink deeper. Let every phrase rewire further. Let every repetition become your rhythm. Because by the 21st night, you won't just believe differently, you'll behave differently. That's the key. And when that happens, you'll realize this audiobook was never about money. It was about mastery. You built the mindset. You built the discipline. Now build the life. If this message spoke to you, if it woke something up inside you, hit subscribe right now. Because this is not the end. It's just the next layer of your training. Every week, new audiobooks, new affirmations, new mind upgrades. You've entered the zone of wealth. Now stay here. Dream big. Wake rich, and remember, the richest nights create the richest mornings. Sleep with intention. Rise with purpose. Live unstoppable. This is your season. This is your system. This is your new reality. Soft fade, heartbeat, low ambient music, echoing whisper. Dream big. Wake rich, dream big. Wake rich,